What's up YouTube, it's PJ, and it's time for another video. So, I know it's been a while, since I posted a video, and for that, I sincerely apologize. Life has been, not crazier than normal, but let's just put it as crazy, in a good way. So, why has it been crazy? Well, I volunteer, as, like, kind of like a teacher's assistant type thing at the homeschool program where my mom works. Um, so, we are going into our third week of school. We just finished, yeah, we just, are, no, we are going into our fourth week of school. We just finished, week 3, so we're going into week 4, I believe. My math could be wrong. It wasn't my strongest subject in school. But anyway, so, we do that 2 days a week. So I get to work with my mom, which is pretty awesome. Um, I do, so I, help get people into the building, throughout the days. So I'm at the door when the kids get there. I'm at the door when they leave, and I let the teachers back in, after they after the kids get picked up by their parents. And I'm there to just kind of do whatever. So if a teacher needs to run to the bathroom, I'm there to watch the classes or whatever. Um, so I help give tours for prospective families who are looking at the program. So, that has been pretty busy getting back into the swing of things. And in the middle of that, me and my mom kind of went on a, trip with, my cousin. We went to Dragon Con, which, if anybody doesn't know what Dragon Con is, you're obviously not a sci-fi nerd, like me and my mom are. It's, basically the East Coast version of Comic Con out in San Diego, but from everybody I talked to who's been to both, it is about 100 times better. So, we went to that, Labor Day weekend. So, I was getting ready for that and doing, work volunteer stuff. So, um, yeah. And I'm also, on my church's college ministry leadership team. So, we've been planning a lot of stuff for the fall. So, that's had part of my brain. But, and, I've also got some huge news. So, but before I do that, I want to backtrack to the Dragon Con thing just a little bit. If you're disabled, and you're interested in going to Dragon Con or interested in going to any events like that, I'm going to be doing, kind of a reflection, slash opinion video of how I think things went, during the, let's see, we got there Thursday night, left Monday, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday. So almost 5 days that we were at the convention. It was an awesome experience, and I'm gonna do a video on that. And another element to Dragon Con is almost everybody cosplays, which in English means dress up as superheroes or video game characters. And I did that. So in order to make the video easy to find, um, and I also just want to do it because it's fun. I'm gonna pull out one of my cosplays and do the video in cosplay for you guys. So look out for that. Hang on, I need to adjust my phone here just a little bit. There. So, the big news is I'm gonna get serious here for a second. So, as you guys know, the last 6-7 months hasn't been easy for me from inner struggle standpoint. And if you're new, I'm not gonna bore you guys with the details. If you want to know, just search through the channel. And that video should be pretty self-explanatory by the title. So it's titled, I Need to Admit to a Mistake, or Come Clean, or something like that. I can't even remember what I titled it as. So, but anybody who's been with me for a while knows that I struggled with some stuff. Not to the point where I was thinking suicide or anything. I just messed up and dug myself into a hole, which I'm sort of kind of still trying to work my way out of, but I'm getting there. So that's a good thing, and it's okay to admit things aren't okay. So, which is something I struggled with and is part of the reason I'm in the hole I'm in, but it's getting better. So, to that end, I went to volunteer at a camp I volunteer at during the summer, and I went in just thankful that I was getting time away, getting time where I was gonna have to put my junk away, and check my attitude and my bags at the door, basically, because I had other people depending on me that needed my head, in the game, and I actually did 2 camps like that, in July, so getting to do those camps and then getting to come home for a couple weeks and go to Dragon Con and just cut loose and have fun was really, really helpful. But anyway, one of the camps, as you guys know, is a Johnny and Friends family retreat. So, and those always need volunteers, because the more volunteers we have, the more families we can potentially allow to come to camp, and feel the love of Christ and all that stuff that they don't always get to feel at home, because there's stigmas around living life with a disability, and if you say there's not, then I will have to argue with you, because I've felt those stigmas and they don't feel so hot. But I came home burdened with the idea that I needed to focus on what I was good at, because part of my struggles beforehand was um, just feeling out of place and not really knowing. I knew and have always known where God wants me, and that's in disability ministry of some sort. But anybody who's in disability ministry or ministry in general um, knows that there's a lot of different doors you can walk through going to going down that road. Um, so I was kind of struggling um, with, okay, I know the general idea of what I want to do, but there's tons and tons of options, almost like subspecialties that I can go into once I get to that general area. So, one of my jobs at Family Retreat the past 2 years has been, last year and this year, has been to train um, the new volunteer, train the new volunteers and refresh the returning ones on disability, safety, and etiquette. So, what happens if a chair breaks? What happens if the person you're helping has this and all that stuff? And so I apparently am really good at that, or at least people tell I am, and some of these people who tell me that do it and get paid to do it. So if it's coming from them, I'm inclined to believe them. So I was at that camp for a week. So by the end of the week, I can't. As I left, I looked at my boss when I'm there and when I'm working with the ministry that hosts those family retreats. I looked at her and said, I mean, I've got an idea that I want to run past you in a couple weeks. Let me flesh it out and I'll get back with you soon. So, I also volunteer for a ministry here at home. So, about a week to a week and a half after I got back from retreat, I had to work an event with that ministry, and my boss comes and picks me up. And on the way to the event, I look at her and say, "Hey, I've got an idea I want to run past you, and that you might be able to help me with." She's like, "Okay." So I explained that I have been thinking that I need to get into um, volunteer recruitment for family retreat, because like I said, the more volunteers we have, the more families we can open retreats up to potentially. And she's like, okay, what do you think that's gonna look like? So I explained, and I'm like, do you think your church, which is a church we do 95% of our training that we do, her church hosts us for that, and we do in-house training for them as well. So I asked her straight up, I'm like, do you think if we can get X, Y, and Z rolling, that your church would be willing to host recruitment event, and let me come in and just talk about Kim. And she's like, I can run it past who I need to run it past, and let you know. So about a month went by. I went to Dragon Con. Didn't hear anything until, which I knew they were talking about it, but I also had some friends who are willing to come help me, who, because we already had a date in mind, looking at our schedules, and all that stuff. So my boss went in with that date in mind, asked who she needed to ask. So her boss, because she also works at the church, she asked the pastor, who's a really neat guy, super open to this kind of stuff. And about 2 weeks ago, she texts me and says, we've got a date. The date we had in mind is a good date. But instead of a whole day, he wants you to come in and spend 15 to 20 minutes during the Saturday night church service, so the date we thought, and the Sunday morning service the next day. So it's not it's not what I had envisioned, but so it's on a little bit of a smaller scale, but it feels like it might be a little bit more impactful, because I'm getting to hit on it twice to potentially 2 different sets of people. So November 3rd and 4th, I am going to be running my first Johnny and Friends recruitment event, and this is nothing they asked me to do. This is something, a light bulb went off in my head, and I'm super excited. So as the process gets going, you guys are going to be along for the ride. And if you're interested in, if you're in like the Chattanooga, East Tennessee, Northwest Georgia area, and you think your church would be interested, let me know. Message me, leave a comment, and we'll see if we can get something rolling. And if you're that kind of person, pray for me. Pray that this works out the way God wants it to work out. And if you're not a Christian, then if you think your community or a community center within, and you're within that same area I just mentioned, if you think it would be something your community would be up for, let me know. And I'll be more than happy to come talk to them. So that's it for now, guys. But like I said, there's a lot of cool things getting ready to happen, and I'll be sure to share them with you. So like I say at the end of most of my videos, disability never sleeps. So until I get the job done, neither will I, and I'll see you guys soon.